All rise for the pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Notations of the exits in the front and the back. Please put all electronic devices on silent. And clerk, can you please call the roll?
Yes. Councilman Cypress?
Here.
Councilman Larker?
Here.
Councilwoman Lewis?
Here.
Councilman Mazzata?
Here.
Supervisor Durante absent.
We had executive session scheduled tonight, but we did cancel at the last minute, so we do not need to come out of executive session. So first item up on the work session is MS4 permit update, and we have Victoria DeSidero from the Planning Board Secretary and a new employee, Bruce Bridges, Special Districts in MS4 Coordinator. So we haven't met yet, but nice to meet you. Welcome.
Glad to meet you all.
Hey, Bruce.
Nice to meet you.
Good morning, good evening, town board members. So, as you know, I'm Victoria Desidero. Among other things, I have been the MS4 administrator for the past 14 years. Bruce has just joined us recently and is working himself up to being the full MS4 coordinator for our town. So I'm going to give you a brief overview of where we are with the new general permit that the DEC has issued and that we have to follow. Supervisor Durante has been kind of keeping up with this on a regular basis with us and looking at some of the documents that we've been working on, but he thought it'd be a good idea to bring everybody up to speed. So basically, the only other person missing here from our team is Tom Fenton, our town engineer. He's an integral part of everything that we do with MS4. We didn't ask him to come down from Connecticut tonight because we didn't think that we really needed to spend that money. So basically, the other groups within the town who are very much involved in MS4 are the building department, the town clerk's office. The highway department is a very big part of our MS4 efforts, and of course planning and zoning. So what we want to do tonight is we just want to give you a brief update on the program. MS4, for those who don't know, stands for Municipal Separate Storm Sewer Systems. That's where the 4 comes from. It's an unfunded state mandate from the New York State Department of Environmental Conservation. And Bruce is going to give you all a spreadsheet that shows you the progress we're making, and I'll talk about that in a couple of minutes. There's a lot of acronyms associated with this program. I apologize if I use one that I don't define. Please feel free to just ask, and I'll tell you what it means, if I can remember what it means. It's like alphabet soup. But anyway, so on December 13th of 23, the DEC issued a new Speedies permit. And prior to that, we were operating under a permit that was issued in 2002 and updated in 2015. Speedies stands for State Pollutant Discharge Elimination System. And our town is wholly located within the New York City watershed, and therefore we are required to protect our reservoirs and our waterways from stormwater runoff that carry pollutants. And that is everything from simply washing your car in your driveway, putting fertilizer on your lawn, to building a house, or obviously huge commercial development projects. So the new permit requirements went into effect on January 1 of this year, and that's the document that was issued by the DEC on December 13th. So we had to get up to speed pretty quickly. What we did is, Bruce wasn't here at the time, but Tom Fenton and I kind of read through that, tried to digest it all, and then started to work on the new plan. The old plan that we were working on looked like this. That had been in effect, like I said, from 2002, was updated in 2015. That was the entire stormwater management plan that the town of Southeast had and that we were following and adhering to. The new plan is this. And, you know, obviously we are using these props for effect here, but the idea is it is much more intense than what we had been doing before. The requirements are much more extensive. So just to give you a brief overview of what we've done so far, we basically, if you will look at the spreadsheet that you have, what we did was we digested what was in that permit, and we created the binder using tabs. The tabs are related to a column on the spreadsheet that you're looking at. It's the fourth column that says compliance timeline. That's what I want to call your attention to, just so you can see the progress that we're making. So there were things that were due at EDC, which is effective date of coverage. That was January 1. There were things that were due on a deadline of July 3rd of this year, which was 6 months from the effective date of coverage. There were other things that were due for an interim report that we needed to file with the DEC on October 1st. And in looking at that column, you'll actually see that we met all of the deadlines that we had. Some of these things are, in some of the sections of the binder, are small. They're things like putting in an organizational chart and job descriptions. Others are massive amounts of data that come from a mapping system that's called Esri, that is actually housed in the Highway Department, that shows on it every stormwater management measure within our town, outfalls, sewer drains, everything in the town. So it's hard to kind of contemplate it, but it is a lot of work that's gone into this already, but there's a lot more work still to be done. So our next deadline is January 1st of 25, and at that point, there's no actual report that has to go to the DEC, but we have other things that are supposed to be done. So there's 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, and 5 years. You see on that list there. If you look over at the, I think it's the second to the last column, you basically will see everything that's been completed. We put it in bold and red so that we know that we've got that section of the binder done, at least for now. But it is kind of a living, breathing document, and things get added to it all the time, and every year we'll have to be showing all the things that we're doing. So I'm not going to get into minimum control measures. They're called MCMs. But those are what we have to report back to the DEC on twice a year. And minimum control measures are activities that are performed throughout the year by many departments in the town. They include things like public education and outreach, processing of all the MS4 permits for small and large construction projects, inspecting those projects while they're ongoing, inspecting the stormwater measures that are installed after the projects are complete, and that has to be done annually. All the highway department work, such as street sweeping, inspections, and maintenance of town infrastructure that manage our stormwater runoff, such as catch basins and outfalls. Again, massive amounts of time and energy being put in by a lot of people. Investigating reports of illicit discharges and making sure each of those is addressed in a timely manner, that if violations are issued and that people are held accountable for actually allowing pollutants to somehow get into our waterways. The one pollutant that we are primarily responsible for in the town of Southeast is phosphorus. There are other MS4s throughout the state and other places who have additional pollutants that they have to monitor for, but ours is phosphorus. So this list that I'm saying, the things I'm telling you that we do in the town, it's really just a small sampling of everything that goes on and everything that will be kind of contributing to what goes into the binder. And I'd be happy to answer any questions about what I'm talking about, but I'd like to let Bruce just kind of talk for a couple minutes about what he's going to be doing going forward.
So I will be learning how to do a portion of the MS4's administrator job currently being done by Victoria. I'll take on the administration portion of the MS4 coordinator responsibilities currently handled by Tom Fenton and work closely with town engineer Joe Dillon on the more technical aspects of the job. It will be my job to continue developing the stormwater management plan, working with the highway department, the building department, town clerk, etc., to set and achieve their MCM goals. I will compile the data and complete the interim and annual reports to the DEC. In addition, I will work to ensure that the employees receive the needed training as required by the plan. Thank you.
Thank you.
Can you answer any questions?
Just, none of this is funded, all
Right.
unfunded mandates?
Yep.
Okay.
Correct.
And like you said, it's a living document, like we expect more regulations to be coming down the pike.
So, yes. And when we say it's a living, breathing document, one of the main requirements of the permit is that we make this available at all times to the public. So while right now it's mostly paper, although there are some actual digital devices in here, some of the bigger mapping things that can't possibly fit in a binder, at some point we're gonna have to put this on the website, so it's all gonna have to become electronic, and that's gonna have to be kept updated.
Okay.
So, yeah, it's,
It's a lot.
we're required to have this plan, and we're required to live up to those requirements, and the way that they check us is through those 2 annual reports. They can also audit us at any time.
Okay.
So like if we have this deadline of January 2025, there's nothing we actually have to submit to them online, but they can say, oh, we're coming by on January 4th, we want to see what your plan looks like. That's how they do it.
Okay.
Well, thank you for the update, very thorough. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
All right, next item is discussion on the 2025 budget, and I'll hand it over to Eric Cypress for comments.
Thanks. Yeah, just a couple of quick comments. At the last meeting, the supervisor submitted his budget with a 3.61% tax levy increase, which was over the tax cap. The last 2 weeks, the town board has been reviewing the budget, and tonight we're submitting a budget that is a 1.98% tax levy increase, well under the cap of 2.76. Obviously, the town faces the same inflation pressure we all face in our daily lives. We also have 2 union contracts that expire at the end of this year. To get the budget increase down, we were able to raise some estimates on non-tax revenue, as well as cut some minor expenses. No people or services were cut in this reduction, and we're continuing to invest in code enforcement and parks and rec. Also, as part of the revised budget, all part-time elected officials are going to receive no raise. And tomorrow, the budget will be available in the town clerk's office and posted on the website for your review. And shortly, we'll be setting a public hearing for October 24th, where you could ask questions or comment. Anybody else?
No.
All
No.
good? Thank you.
Great work on that, Eric.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Eric.
I make a motion to go into the regular portion of the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I make a motion to set a public hearing for the 2025 budget for October 24th, 2024.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Next is a resolution for the new Starbucks. The address is 1505 through 1515 and 1519 and 1525 Route 22. Now therefore be it resolved that the town board of the town of Southeast hereby makes the following findings of fact in connection with the instant application. The proposed use is in such location and is a size and character that it will be in harmony with the appropriate and orderly development of the surrounding district and will not be detrimental to the immediate site or adjacent properties, provided appropriate conditions and restrictions are made as part of the grant of a special permit. And the location and size of the proposed use, the nature and intensity of operations involved in or conducted in connection therewith, its site layout, and its relation to access streets will be such that both pedestrian and vehicular traffic to and from the use and the assembly of persons in connection therewith will not be hazardous. And number 3, the exterior appearance of the building will not hinder or discourage the development and use of adjacent land and buildings, provided all reviews and approvals of the Southeast Planning and Architectural Review Board are incorporated in any final approval of the project. And number 4, the proposed use will not require such additional public facilities or services to create physical burdens upon the town greater than those which characterize uses permitted as of right, and be it further resolved that based upon the foregoing findings, the town board of the town of Southeast hereby grants a special permit to U.B. Brewster LLC to permit the addition of a fast food eating establishment use on a freestanding pad site located within the Lakeview Plaza in accordance with the statement of use prepared and submitted to the planning board in connection with the project development plan, and be it further resolved that such fast food eating establishment special use permit shall extend only to such uses and development as do not violate the general and special conditions of the special use permits contained in Article X of Chapter 138 of the Town Code of the Town of Southeast. So moved.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Recognition of the public. Oh, are you guys all set? Oh, you're welcome. Good luck.
Good luck.
What, do you guys have a timeline yet?
Same as kind of before. It looks like by the time we get back through P&Z, it'll probably be a December, I think it's December 9th meeting. Then we'll hopefully have everything buttoned up and we'll do a file after that.
Okay, cool.
It's awesome.
So
Great.
for the
Exciting
video, they said early 2025.
Correct.
All right, take care.
Thank you.
Recognition of the public. Mr. Seaman?
Evening, Scott Seaman, Town of Southeast.
Hey, Scott.
Firstly, as a member of the school board, I wanted to thank Supervisor Durante and the board, Highway Department, I believe Bluster Paint, for the bear prints that are now in front of the schools. The
They're
kids are
awesome.
very enthused, the town's enthused. It seems everybody's picking up on it. And so related to that, the homecoming game is coming up on the 25th, and the bonfire is back.
I know,
Yeah,
I'm so
So-
excited. So
And
excited.
I hope this doesn't go poorly.
I know.
So everybody put a lot of effort into this, so we appreciate everyone's work on that.
Where will the bonfire itself be?
I believe it's the smaller field in the back, like below the old field.
Yep.
I think that's
The
the way.
football field?
I think
The
so.
old football field?
Yeah.
Behind the,
Like where
Behind
the, I
it.
think it's a soccer field
They play
now.
soccer
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's a lot of trees back
There's a lot of trees everywhere.
it'll be the fire department.
We could put it in the
there.
parking lot if you want.
Listen,
but
I'm super
I don't think-
excited.
yeah.
It's,
So
the
it-
kids are psyched.
Right, it should be good, as long as everything goes, so just wanted to, once again, thank
I
you.
think my graduating class may have been the last year that happened.
Yeah, and I think
take
your
no
graduating class is,
responsibility
yeah,
for what
they're the
happened.
reason we don't do it.
There was
That's right.
some reason I was not involved.
That's not what I heard, but that's another story. And now, just a question as a member of the town of Southeast. Just want to see if there is a schedule yet for when we're going to be doing all the lane striping for the remotes that have been beautifully repaired by the highway department. I'm assuming it's coming up soon as winter is coming, but just something to,
I don't have the, I don't know if anyone has the exact date. I know Mike had mentioned that he was waiting on paint, and I know paint was a problem during COVID,
yep,
but
still
we,
is.
we can try and get back to you on that.
That'd be perfect. Once again, thank you, and please, everyone come to
Oh,
homecoming.
I'll be
Should be
there.
fantastic.
Can't wait.
They're playing right now, right? I believe?
They're playing right now. I'm heading there after.
Okay, yeah, so am I.
Yeah.
See you there.
I'll see you there, Scott.
Thanks, Scott. Anyone else? Yep.
Hi, I'm Jim Gaynor, Town of Southeast. I was wondering if anyone on the board could give me an update on the work going on in the Brewster Heights Water District.
Related to the reservoir draining?
Yes.
Okay.
And work at the pump station as well, I think there's gonna be some work done in
Yes.
addition to the work on the reservoir.
So Bruce probably would have been the guy to ask that just left earlier. But as far as I know, I think they're working on it. I think they're close to and are scheduled to be on time for the work that needs to be done to prepare for the drawdown. And I think the drawdown, if it needs to occur, will start in the November timeframe.
Yeah, originally it was October, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it should
And
all be.
it's not like they start draining.
Right.
They just stop filling,
Yeah.
Right.
so the reservoir could get lower.
Yeah, and we haven't
That's
had
what
any
it's all
lately.
about.
And there's a open house, what day is it? There's an open house Saturday
This Saturday.
from,
It's in the morning.
it's in the morning, do you know the times?
I thought it was,
It's in the morning Saturday. If you go to the, at the bottom of Brewster Hill where the pump station is, or not the pump station, the water plant, there'll be an open house there with VRI, the new water
Brewster
provider.
Heights, right? No,
What?
Brewster Heights,
Yeah, what did I say?
Brewster Hill.
Yes, Brewster Heights, thank you. And they're working on it, so they'll be able to answer those questions too. And they'll have some literature on the drawdown and the request for funding, which we haven't received yet for the drawdown.
Yeah, that was my next question. And before I ask that, is there a chance the water will not have to be drawn down? Or is it pretty much is going to the lower?
They're changing the tunnel under the Hudson River. So
Yes,
all
yeah.
that water will stop filling the reservoir. So depending on rain and usage, the reservoir is going to naturally get lower. How quick it gets lower, we don't know, but
Okay.
it's all in preparation for it. If it gets past a certain point in the current situation, we lose water. So, we need to be further in the reservoir to make sure you guys get water. And then at the same time, we're going to do some plant upgrades. So.
And I know they put out a bid to do that work, which is accepted, I guess, because the work's already started. Do you have an estimate? I can't remember how much that was about. I thought I heard a figure about 150,000, 200,000. Do you know?
I think that sounds about right. I don't know offhand. I don't know if you do, Kathy, but I thought the whole project was going to cost around 150 to 200 with all the engineering and the work, but we could get that for you.
And you talked a little bit about financing.
Yeah. So
What's the latest?
So we had sent 2 letters to Senator Harkam asking and requesting for money for this because it's not funded. And we have not received it. Well, we hadn't received a response until this week, or I think it was this week or last week, where he said that he would meet with us, but not at a public hearing or not at a public meeting. And we replied that to get some dates, and I don't know that there's been a reply to
There
that.
has not been a
Yeah,
reply.
so they haven't been replying or communicating as much as we would like. We did send 2 letters. One of the operators at VRI, again, he's going to have literature about the drawdown. He's also going to have copies of the letters that we're going to give to people and recommend that they also write to Senator Harkam's office.
And is there a chance, do we have any leverage at all with, is it charged to the DEC? Who's actually in charge of this whole project for
It's a
the city or the state? Is it the DEC?
I thought it was a combination between the state and the city, correct?
Yeah, well, the city would be DEP.
The city's yeah.
Do we have any leverage at all with those folks, over those folks? I understand it's their reservoir.
You mean the people that knocked down all our houses and built reservoirs in our
Yeah.
Yeah. If I remember from the presentation last year, it's a $1.5 billion project.
Yep.
And, we need $150,000, which is 0.01% of that budget.
Yeah.
0.01%.
Yeah.
Is there any chance we could ask them?
Yeah, we met with them,
Yeah.
and that was a clear no, and that's why we're trying to go to Albany, so.
So if you could get some letters out to Peter Harkam,
Okay.
encourage some support.
Is there language that tends to work better than?
Well, we do have a form letter that mentions some of it. We could maybe craft a little more pointed letter to share with the residents up there. But yeah, it is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Is there any chance we could get an email or letter out to all the people in the district? That's Brewster Heights and Eagles Ridge, right? So, and is it also Metro North? Are they involved with this as well? If we can't get any funding from anyone else, ultimately it's on the backs of the people in the district,
Yeah.
right?
Right.
And I think Metro North, are they only using the sewer part of it and not the water part? Do you know? They're paying into the.
To be honest, I had no idea that
Yeah,
they
I
had
didn't know
anything to
they
do
had
with that
anything to do
district.
I thought the Metro North paid money into the district to use the sewers, maybe to get the waste off the trains.
Oh, they may. That's right there. We could. Are you going to be able to go to the open house?
Saturday morning?
Yes. I don't know what time.
I don't know.
Okay. I could ask VRI when we're there, but we could also discuss it with them if you can make it.
Okay, if we could get a letter to everyone in Brewster Heights
What-
and just even a form letter and to say, by the way, another $150,000, we're taking a bond for it, and we have to pay that over time, if you folks write a letter, it might help.
Yeah,
Are you signed up for our alerts for that water district?
I'm not sure I am, no.
Okay, you could sign up on our website for alerts like general town or specific districts like Brewster Heights Water. And that's how we communicated the open house and that kind of thing. So you should sign up for that. But yeah, if we work on a letter, we would also notify everybody, like that, so.
Okay.
if you'd like to wait till after the meeting, you could give your email to Ms. Jadina, and she will help you get the instructions to get set up. She just whispered that to me.
Sure.
I'm not forcing you to do something against your will.
No, I have no problem.
All right, thanks. And interesting presentation earlier about another unfunded mandate.
Oh, yeah.
What happens if we don't comply?
You know, it's a
I
good
don't think
question.
there is an answer for that yet. I think we asked the same thing.
I think we do get certain money from them that they could take, but it's not much, but I don't know.
And how are they measuring how much phosphorus is going into the reservoirs?
Who knows? You know, I don't know that they'll ever audit.
All right,
Just some idea somebody may have had.
right.
And this is, this is something that has been going on kind of in the background, and I think every town is playing catch-up to try to understand how this is gonna work and what the regulations are gonna look like and things like that.
And the
And the
problem,
expense behind it.
the problem with Southeast, to Wendy's point, is the whole town is in the.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
surrounded by.
Yeah.
So there's
This is
two
gonna be a
levels of
significant
compliance,
financial burden.
and like 97% of our town is in the enhanced, level, so.
Yeah.
So like Carmel, or they're like 10%,
Yeah.
Patterson's like 10%.
We're gonna take a hit.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Hopefully we'll see you Saturday morning.
I'll be around.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Any comment from the board?
No.
I have no comment.
No.
I'll entertain a motion.
Make a motion to close the meeting?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.